super excited about talking about this fragrance. This is one of my favorite fragrances now to be added to my collection, and it's because it's my favorite fragrance note, built, incarnated, and made into a beautiful blossoming fragrance. You're really going to want to hear about this one, and to be honest, this is going to be one of those fragrances that I easily tell you to buy, even though I didn't have to buy it. But I can tell you right now, had I smelled this on a tester strip or a sample that I would have purchased from somebody like Near over at Perfumology, this would easily be one that I would reach for. Oh yeah, stay tuned. What's going on YouTube? I'm Joshua, and this is our channel, ScentSense. To all my loyal subscribers who painstakingly stick by my side and continue to go on this fragrance journey with me, to you people, salute. And to all you new people who are checking out the channel, maybe for the very first time, or maybe you've checked it out a couple times and you haven't been able to decide if you want to stick around. I got some popsicles down in the basement if you want some. Enough creepiness aside, today's video is brought to you by the kind folks over at Your Perfumes. They were kind enough to send me this fragrance under consideration of my thoughts and my opinions. And like that, car dealership stuff you hear at the very end where it's like textile license that you know goes really fast and you have no idea what they say, but they just have to get that out there so people don't, sue them over something. I'm gonna just put it out there. These thoughts and opinions are my own. No one can buy me. It's just perfume. I own a crap ton of it and I don't need free stuff. But I appreciate the fact that they sent it to me. That way it makes it a lot easier for me to create content, because at the end of the day, it's a lot of money to keep shelling out if I have to buy them every time. So let's just jump right into it. Today we'll be talking about a fragrance from the house of Carner, Barcelona. I'm so excited to finally own a fragrance from this house. No, this is not a fragrance that everyone loves from the house. It's not the most popular one. The one I'm talking about that you know about is El Born. El Born is a smooth, seductive, sexy fragrance that I think everyone should check out. But this is a fragrance that would be perfect for the spring and summertime. This is a fragrance that encapsulates my favorite fragrance note of all time, the juicy, delectable, fantastic, earthy, and clean note of fig. The fragrance we're talking about, if you didn't know, is a fragrance that hit my top 10 summer niche list. If you want to check out that video, it'll be right here. Enough rambling. The fragrance we're talking about from the house of Carner, Barcelona, as I mentioned, is Figment. So no tiptoeing in the water, let's jump right into it and let's start off with the presentation. For you fragrance heads out there that are into box porn, aka fragrance box porn, I just want to break it down to you. This is a beautiful box, and the fact that I like it because it's not super over the top, it's not indulgent, it doesn't have leather, it doesn't have a fancy hinge. It's cardboard, but it gets it done. It's got the name of the fragrance on the top that's kind of embossed with this black coloring. It's got the logo here for the fragrance that you see on the front of the bottle. It's not raised or anything, it's just put right on top. It's got some information on the back that you're used to seeing, stuff like the mid notes, top notes, base notes, inspired by, what it's inspired by, how much oils are in it. Don't set yourself on fire. Don't put this next to an open flame. Don't throw it on the ground and break the glass and stab yourself in the eye. Basic stuff, If you open up the box like so, you can see the fragrance rests gently inside of the box here. In the top of the box, it's got a little note. It says, "We bring a surreal fragrance, fresh and beautifully imaginative, made with love." Let's go ahead and get this bad boy out of there, and as we always do, sorry, Your Perfumes, get it out of here. Jumping into how the bottle looks, this is one of the most beautiful bottles that I've ever seen. I am very much into simplicity. I don't like fancy bottles. I think I can recognize they're nice looking, but I like simple bottles the best, and this one takes the cake. The cap is made of an earthy wood. It's got the seafoam green writing on the top. It says Carner, Barcelona. On the front of the glass bottle, it says Figman Eau de Parfum. It's got a batch code on the back. And on the bottom, it's got the label. It's got the concentration, the strength, and of course, I think the batch code again. You got a simple black sprayer on the top. And that's pretty much about it. Now the cap is actually wood. I wasn't 100% sure, but I don't know if I can get close enough for you to see this, but on the very bottom corner, a piece of the wood actually chipped off and splintered and stuck in my finger. So it's 100% really wood. I'm positive. But before we jump into the fragrance, I'd like to talk about the inspiration behind this because I'm into art. I think it's really cool, the fact that they did what they did with this fragrance, because this is inspired by one of the greatest artists of all time. This is inspired by a painting from the famous Salvador Dali. It's called Homme Figuier. This is supposed to give you an imaginative exploration of what you see and the painting from Salvador Dali. No, I don't have a picture of it. You can use your imagination or Google. It's supposed to bring you into an idea or embark you on a journey of walking through the Mediterranean fields and smelling fig trees. This is one of those rare fragrances that have fig in all facets and forms. In the top notes, you're gonna get bergamot, you're gonna get cardamom, and you're gonna get fig. In the mid notes, you're gonna get violet, marine accords, and fig tree leaves. And in the base, you're gonna get guaiacwood, Tonga Bean, and patchouli. So what do I get from this? Right out the opening, you're gonna get that slight powderiness from the cardamom. It's not gonna last forever. It's kind of just gonna give it a little more creaminess to that fig note, which can often be very dirty and earthy. The fig up top is very, very juicy and light. It's not something that's really, really daunting. It's not something that's gonna choke you out. In the mid, you're gonna get those marine accords. You're gonna get that zesty, watery freshness, almost like water dripping directly off of a fig. You're gonna get the fig tree leaves, which has got that green earthiness that goes along with this violet that comes in that gives a little bit of sharpness. Towards the end, you're gonna get more of that base notes, those fragrance notes such as patchouli, guaiacwood, however you say that, and of course, Tonga Bean, which again lends a little bit more sweetness, but marries with that cardamom that gives a little bit more of that powdery nature. So this fragrance kind of wraps itself in a circle for me. Although you can kind of distinguish some of those notes, the main thing that I get from this fragrance is a slightly sharp, very zesty, aquatic, juicy, figgy fragrance. If you smell fragrances such as Molinar's Figs, or you've smelled Banana Republic's Vintage Green, or many, many other fragrances that show the note of fig, such as Juicebox Fill and Chill, this one right here is probably the most authentic and realistic fig note fragrance that I've ever smelled. This is gonna feel like you are literally walking on a summer day in the Mediterranean where the sun is starting to creep up over the hills. You can see it in the distance. It's really, really bright. You almost have to have sunglasses on. And you're walking underneath a tree and you see little water droplets that have started there to collect on the fruit, and they're just sitting there. And when you grab that fruit, they just start to drip onto your arm. You pull that fruit, the branch starts to shake. The water falls off the leaves and you just smell it in the air, and it's directly in your face. Maybe like a low-hanging branch that's close enough for you to really get a whiff of. You just get that from this. I almost imagine this being directly on the side of maybe some kind of waterway and the ocean, maybe like the ocean, you know, just or some kind of watery area where the waves are crashing and the wind blows across that water and sweeps up through the trees. That's pretty much what you're gonna get from this. It's that combination of all of that together, but ultra realistic. Being from Louisiana, we love our figs. We love fig preserves. And as I spoke about with Sebastian over at the channel, Looking, Feeling, Smelling Great, who you should go check out, which I think actually did a review of this fragrance also. We've had a kinship when it comes to the note of fig. He's introduced me to fragrances that have fig in it. I've introduced him to fragrances that have fig in it. And I think at this point, he's the only other person who's talked about this fragrance. This fragrance takes me on a journey personally where I don't need to hear what someone else has to say about it. It's something that I've enjoyed and I've really, really loved every step of the way. This is definitely something that I will wear a lot of in the upcoming months. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna take this with me to the beach. And if you're interested in something that's so ultra realistic and something that's so fresh and inviting, and you're really looking for another niche purchase or maybe your very first niche purchase, and you're somebody who's into fig, if you're into fig, you should have to smell this. And if you don't like it, please tell me, because I haven't met one person so far who's actually smelled this who doesn't like it. Let's jump into what's important to a lot of you performance. When it comes to projection, no, this is not a fragrance that's gonna push out and let everyone in the room know you're there, but this is something that will give a slight presence and a very mature and adult-like and assured of yourself presence. A lot of people will get the vibe that pretty much the room just smells really, really clean. This kind of has that vibe of a house that's been cleaned from top to bottom, or maybe a very, very elegant hotel or nice business that has fragrances pumped into the air. Yes, there are places that do that. Go to Vegas, they all smell fantastic. That's not just by happenstance. This is going to give you a fresh and clean vibe, and everyone around you who's close enough will get that. As far as how long this is gonna project, you're gonna get decent projection for the first couple hours, and then after that, it's gonna kind of sit close to the skin. Now, when I say decent projection, I mean half an arm's length. It's not gonna be a big scent bubble. You're not gonna be floating around with a scent army of notes floating in the air. This is something that's going to be more about a slightly close encounter, maybe table dinner kind of fragrance. As far as overall longevity, you're going to get somewhere between 5 and 7 hours applied to just skin. If you are to wear this on clothes, you're of course going to get more time than that. I would say somewhere between 7 and 9 hours. As far as sillage, yes, like I said before, you're going to give off the vibe in a room of it being just a super clean room. So don't feel upset if someone's not walking up to you and telling you how great you smell. That's not what this is gonna be about. This is gonna make the people around you feel subconsciously relaxed and at ease, and you're gonna enjoy the whole time too. So when they think that the room smells great, they think you smell great. So don't get butthurt if they don't tell it to you. Don't be George Costanza and get mad because you bought the big salad and you paid for the big salad and that you deserve credit. Don't be that guy. As far as price and size, this only comes in one size, and that is the 3.4 ounce 100 milliliter bottle, and that price is roughly out at $185. If you're looking for a place to buy this at, this is new on their fragrance website and new to their storefront. There's a guy named Alan over at the place called Beverly Hills Perfumery. Very, very good customer service. Always sends out great samples from the niche realm with each purchase that you make. He always tries to get people to enjoy the houses that he sells, but also fragrance in itself. He's not a person who's a super fragrance snob. He will tell you straight up that this smells like that. Don't be that guy to not like this fragrance because it smells like that, but it just smells good, so you should enjoy it. He's not a guy who hates on people who don't buy niche. He just loves fragrance in general, but he likes the finer things in life, so he sells the finer things in life. If you don't want to buy a full-size bottle, you can also buy a small sample from his website for $9. Sounds kind of pricey, but think about it. You spend $9, you really enjoy it, you're not going to feel bad about going spend what it costs to get this fragrance in a full-size bottle. And no, Alan doesn't even know I did this. In fact, after I film this, I'm going to go tell him I did this. So that just tells you right there, I didn't get anything for that. So the all-important question that is going to be asked to people, especially people who talk about fragrances that were given to them for free, would you buy this fragrance? Without a doubt, I would buy this fragrance. And this is one that I suggest you sample first. But if you like the note of fig, I think it's a quintessential fig note fragrance, and it's something that should be in everyone's fragrance collection if they like fig. So Cuba, that's you, bro. Get it, bro, I'm telling you. Ball sprayer, easily. All right, that about does it for me. Thank you again to the kind folks over at Euro Perfumes for sending this to me, and the kind folks at Carner, Barcelona for allowing people like me to talk about their great fragrances and to just enjoy the work they did. So to you, Carner, Barcelona, kudos. Your boy finally has a fragrance from your house. So let's get the comment section rolling. What are your top 5 fig fragrances that you own or you like? And if you don't own any fig fragrances, what's one that you're thinking about checking out? While you're at leaving a comment, go ahead and consider subscribing. But if you don't want to subscribe, no hard feelings. But if you do, or if you're already subscribed, go ahead and smash that notification bell. That way when my videos come out, you people will be the very first to know. And as always, and most importantly, I'll smell each and every one of you later. Peace!